So I got my man Garfield Bright, one of his legacies, Mizan. What's happening, father and son?
It's the math, man. About to go to this event in Georgia State. I'm a graduate research assistant for the Urban Literacy Clinic Collective that we have in Georgia State. We service the black community, providing, situations where black parents can learn more about literacy. They can teach their kids literacy, but all types of literacy, not just text, but life is text. How to read different types of situations in life as well as on the page. And coming up with skill sets that allow you to kind of transfer that communication as well, not just read. But there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's community based, and I'm a part of it. Be there to support it. My son is part of it. He's working, doing some stuff there. And so, Dr. Muhammad is the person who's over the clinic. It's part of my work that I do here at Georgia State.
So Mizan, your dad said you're a part of it. First, how does it feel to be working with your dad? And tell me what's the process or the capacity that you're working with him on?
Oh yeah, it's a blessing to be working with my pops, I'm truly blessed just to be around him and get to experience what he's kind of going through, as far as becoming a doctor, And I'm just giving them good vibes along the way. So,
Yeah, definitely. It's a beautiful thing.
Real good.
Yes.
Going down to Georgia State.
Yeah, we're going down to Georgia State.
It's really the college of
In a
education.
quarter mile, turn left onto Jonesboro Road Southeast.
So you make a left out of
Head
here,
north on
to the
Benjamin
right,
Road to Vickers Drive southeast toward Moriarty
It's a straight shot.
Southeast. Then turn right onto Moriarty Southeast.
So it's a beautiful thing, we're here with
Moriarty Southeast.
Dr. Bright. Put it out there. And, you heard a little bit, we're going up to the University of Georgia State.
Quarter mile, turn right
To do some real positive things. That's about that knowledge. We having a good time, but it's about venerating excellence. The black excellence tour is about the venerating and the shining the excellent, the famous and the non-famous. Those that's just making great things happen. So keep watching because the story is dynamic. It's a beautiful situation. On location, Garfield Bright. Multiplatinum racks to doctoral plaques. Education is a beautiful thing.
One of my best friends in the world, man, Earl Christian. He did a documentary on me and stuff, man.
How you doing, bro?
How are you, bro?
Ibrahim, nice to meet you, brother.
Chicago over there. This is Bronx, now in Brooklyn. Boogie down.
Yeah.
Definitely boogie down, man.
I like this spot. I like the vibe in here.
Yeah, this place is my favorite spot on Georgia State, period, hands down. This is E-Brick, and I told you what the convenience of it was, but they always have a sign where they put different quotes every single day, quote of the week, rather.
Well, I love the quote of the week because I drop a word of the day.
Yeah,
every day.
They got all the Banksy art all around. The atmosphere, the music always be on point, right? Exactly. It's dope, man. It's a dope spot. Ibrahim and his brother Abbas, they just like to told people. This dude right here, John, he's a writer, man. He got his book, man. You might have seen his face, BT. When he come through, hold these talent like nights, smoking word nights and stuff. This is dope. It's a dope little cultural spot, man. You know what I mean? It's on point. So I freaking no doubt. Oh yeah.
out here. So G, Georgia State. What brought you? How'd you wind up at Georgia State, bro?
Man, my pathway to get to Georgia State was crazy, man. So I was living in California, you know, shy. You know, at the time, it was like the early 2000s. You know, I was at Cal State Northridge, trying to come up the best way I knew how. You know, I started my trajectory through a college format at Howard. So I was like, you know what? You know, times ain't as juicy as they used to be. Shy starts dimming. I'm like, yo, I need to fall back on my education, but I never finished at Howard. Like I had like 3 credits left, like a gym class or something. So, but the standards at Cal State Northridge, when I went back there, I needed, for my major, they tacked on like 30 more units and shit. You know, 30 more units. So that made me have to be a student there for like 2 years when I was about to graduate at Howard. So I put time in, did that. I ended up teaching a class in politics, political science called the Politics of Hip Hop, and with Dr. Karen Stanford. And so we did that. This cross right here. After I did that, we put together this journal for that class called the Hip Hop Think Tank. And what it was, you know, we were using like hip hop. You know, I got an article published based on this in the International Journal of Africana Studies. I got an article published about this. But we were using hip hop pedagogy to inform the power dynamics in political science because it's the same thing. You know, so we created a journal out of the kind of like works that were coming out of it, and then started presenting them in conferences. One of the conferences was at Georgia State. Wow. So African American Studies puts it on, National Council of Black Studies, NCBS. And my crew, we presented, came from LA, presented, tore the spot up, and the chair of the department said to me at the time, Dr. Jones, Charles Jones, was like, look, man, you know, if you're interested in getting a master's degree, you know, I think we got a spot for you, you know, and let me know if you're trying to make that move. So I was like, word, it's good to know. And but I sat on it for 2 years. I taught high school in Lawndale, California, at this high school called the Environmental Charter High School. I taught California history for 2 years. And when I finished, I was ready to get into something more, you know. And so I got accepted. I called him up, and I got up in there, and I was, you know, I got a fellowship. They pay, you know, pay your tuition. They make you a graduate research assistant, and they give you a stipend. Everything's for free. So all I had to do was just show up. And so that's what I did. And then when I finished that, and 2 years later, I got my degree, my master's in African American Studies, you know, coming out of Howard. That was my likely position anyway. That's what I was interested in. And from there, I just kept going. And I had to do an interview because my GRE scores were so terrible because I'm not a great test taker like that standardized test. So mine was going to be based on the strength of my interview. So I interviewed, and it was real combative. They made me defend my position in my thesis, and I checked them, you know, I defended myself. But I thought that was going to mean that they weren't going to want me in their program. But that was the very thing that they liked, that I could defend my position, and then they accepted me. I was all nervous thinking that they hated it. I was telling other professors, yo, man, I got in there and they come bombarded me. They asked me questions about what would I add to Malefe Asante's Afrocentricity, blah, 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 you know, and I had to check them like, Malefe Asante's Afrocentricity is cool, it's paradigmatic. I said, but I haven't seen a lot of models that actuate that or concretize that in real spaces. I said, so I wouldn't try to add to that. I would recognize that as being valuable, but I would go more for a Freirean approach that's based on praxis, that's based on action going whistle theory. So I wouldn't even try to add to Malefe's. And I was like, and I'm insulted that y'all assume that that's what I would want to do coming from an African American Studies program. Like I came at them like that. Wow. And they was like, and when I finished, it was like, okay. They sat down, and then that was the end of the interview.
Stop. Now that's dope.